Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wemblesden Park for update number 4. Well, some good news today. These have come in the post. These are the relay modules that I've been waiting for the past few days. So today we're going to take a closer look at how these things work and how I'm going to use them to control the washing plant on the layout. Okay, I've got my little test rig set up now. I've got a 12 volt feed here coming from the layout. What I've done is I've put a little switch in just for convenience while I'm showing you how this works. The 12 volt feed comes into this end of the relay module. This is the relay itself, and at this end you've got a common, you've got a normally open and a normally closed contact. So basically what happens is usually those two terminals are connected. When this relay switches on, it connects these two terminals. Now what I've done is I've fed the positive 12 volts into the common, and if you take the output from that relay into the supply for the next relay, this one will then turn on when this one's finished. I've then done the same thing again with this relay to feed this relay. So what happens is I'll put the power on and you'll see that one's come on. After a few seconds this relay will switch on. It's now powered up the second one. After a few seconds this one will switch on, which is now powered up this one, and then this one will turn on. And that's it. That's how I'm going to control the wash plant. So essentially, if I knock them off, what I'm going to do is build a latching relay circuit, and I'll show you how to make one of those later. So effectively what's going to happen is the train will pull up outside the signal box, it will trigger the latching circuit, which will put power onto the first relay. So this relay will then wait. After a set time, that's now come on. So now what's going to happen is it's going to start up the brushes on the washing plant. Okay, then this one's now switched in. This is now going to change the signal to amber. This one's now kicked in. This will now switch on the relay, which puts the power back onto the track, so the loco will then pull forward. As the loco's gone forward, it will then trigger a reset for the latching circuit, which will effectively switch this lot off like that, and then it's ready to go again. Now one thing I must point out is when I first powered this up, I had problems with this would switch off, and I'll just demonstrate. So basically what was happening was that this one would switch on, okay, and then it would time, this one would come on, and then instead of latching on, it switches that one back off, as you can see. So to get round it, all I've done, I've got a big capacitor and strapped it across the supply. I've just put a little switch on there so I can switch the capacitor in and out the circuit. So that one's come on, this one should come on, and then this one will come on. For the permanent installation of the layout, I've decided to get a piece of 5mm scrap Foamex, and the plan is just to glue these on with a hot glue gun. As you can see, I've also soldered the link wires between the boards. This will actually free up the terminals and will make wiring under the layout a little bit easier. Well, after much fiddling around to come up with a final design that worked, here we go. This will just screw underneath the baseboard hopefully. Over here is my capacitor to smooth the supply. I've got the supply coming in here. These two relays form the latching circuit, and I'll show you how they work in a minute. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 timers. This over here is a 5 volt voltage regulator, and the reason we have that is I've also mounted here the MP3 player that will provide the sound effects for the washing machine itself. So the relays, to make a basic latching circuit you need two single pole changeover relays, and basically what you do is, I don't know if you can see it, but on here, this is the coil contacts, this is the common, this is the normally closed, this is the normally open. So what you do is you need to wire the supply to the normally open contact, you wire the coil to the common, and then basically what happens is when you then touch a supply onto there, this switch closes and it keeps this relay energized. To reset it, you then take that, if you can see it very well, but there's a wire comes from there up to the normally closed contact on this relay, and then that is the supply coming in. So what you then do is when you quickly put a supply to that, this relay opens, effectively opening the circuit, which then switches this relay off. So that's how it all works. Now I'll just quickly show you. If I can just grab a piece of wire. So basically what you do is to set it, you click that. To reset it, you click that. Okay, and you'll see, oops, it's not easy when you're trying to hold the camera with one hand. Right, so you'll see the LEDs come on and that switches it off. So basically now what happens is the train will come along, it'll trigger a reed switch, okay, and that's now set this sequence in motion. So the first one will come on, that'll be the rollers. The second one's come on, you'll hear the sound kick in for the washer. The third one's clicked in, that will now move the train. I've got to play around with the settings, the timer settings and stuff, but effectively when the train's gone through the sequence, it'll do that and it'll reset it, and that's all there is to it really. Just one point to mention is on the top of the boards you've got this little trimmer pot. You get a little screwdriver and this adjusts the timing period, and you can go from 0 seconds up to about 10 seconds. If you turn the screw clockwise it increases the time, if you turn the screw anti-clockwise it decreases the time. And that's about it for this. Now I've got to alter the wiring underneath the layout to accommodate it, and we'll see. Well, would you believe it, my crazy idea actually works. Okay, let's have a quick look at what I've done here. You can see I've got all these output cables now from these boards. What I've had to do is fit an additional 3 relays inside the control panel. This circuit board here is the back of the speed controller. If I come round, here's the speed controller, and you've got the button on the end which you press to start and you press it again to stop. What I've done is I've picked up 2 wires off the button and they are now switched from this relay. The relay is connected through this other relay, and what this relay does is this is wired across the output from this controller. So the minute this controller starts to ramp up the voltage, this relay switch is on. This effectively disconnects the signal from here to there, so it's like taking your finger off the button. This other little relay at the back is what actually controls the coloured light signal. I forgot that I wired it switch negative instead of switch positive, so I've had to put a relay in to get around the issue, but basically this just switches the panel controller. And the other cable, which is from the top, this green wire, runs to the relay that's underneath, which switches on the power. Right, I'll give you a quick demonstration. Hopefully this time the train won't get stuck. So, switch on the power. Turn the speed up a little bit to make sure it doesn't get stuck this time. So there's our empty coach and strut train with a Class 83 on it. It'll now emerge from under there and it should just pull up and stop. Okay, so if we just lift this up a little bit. Okie dokie. The rollers have now kicked in. There goes the water. Signal's changed. After a short delay the train should move off. There we go. So if I come round here, train's now gone. As it goes under the bridge, it triggers another reed switch which deactivates the circuit. and the rollers will slow down. Okay, and here's the sequence again, so you can see the boards with the LEDs showing the action. So the train comes in, this triggers the first one, sets the washer going. Next one will be the signal. The third one will move the train. And there you go, how to automate a carriage washing plant. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little update. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, share it on Facebook, and thanks for watching, and tune in for part 5.